Hey, welcome to Matter of Opinion. I'm Walls P.
It's your boy Ray the Dawn, and we brought back
Tawana.
Today's episode, we speaking about the viral video that you guys seen about the restaurant owner who flipped out on his customers.
I invested a lot of money into buying this building, into developing this concept so black people can have somewhere nice to go to, okay? Somewhere where we can feel good about ourselves as a... Come on! Stop the music, please. Somewhere where our people can feel good about ourselves as a culture, okay? Yeah. No, real talk. And so all this twerking and shit, take it to Prime, take it to Pink, don't bring it here because we're a restaurant. And so beyond that, 75% of my customers are ladies. And I want men to show respect for themselves for how they carry themselves here. So how can I tell the men to respect themselves and you guys are twerking on glass here? If you want to do it, get the fuck out my restaurant. Because I did it for our people and I did it for our culture. So don't do it now. Don't do it again. I don't want to hear it. If you don't like it, get out because I don't need your money. I need to provide something for my people. And don't do it again. Thank you.
There's a lot of different discussions on that he was wrong or was he right. So we're gonna tackle that today and give our thoughts on how the whole situation went.
First of all, I gotta clap for that man because he had some big cojones. he was in a female lion then, and he showed some big cojones, and he made it out alive.
Yeah.
So all the men in the world, applaud that man.
Alright.
Applaud that man.
So before we start this off, I just want to break down the origin of twerking. Twerking is basically was an African dance. It was used as a form at like family gatherings or even church as a form of like joy and happiness. And the funny thing about it was that it wasn't used like in sexual, like any sexual manners, you know? It was just a form of showing happiness, and when the situation calls for it, you do it. And it was literally like, you know, in a family setting, so to speak. So that's the original of twerking. So now with that being said, I'll ask you, Tawana, first. Do you think it's appropriate to twerk in a restaurant?
Absolutely not. We all gotta eat there. Nobody want to see that. I'm sorry. I watched the video. I've read a couple things. I heard what the owner had to say. Once again, it was highly inappropriate in a restaurant setting. Even though the song that was playing may have felt they was cause for it, but once again, my perspective is a restaurant. Whether you hear that song or not, you may want to rock with it. You may even want to sing it, but you do not stand on no table. You do not show your tail in a restaurant. This is not a club. It is a restaurant.
Unless you
order
some food that you can't pay for, and you like, I'm gonna find me a husband to hit real quick.
And hearing what the owner had to say, he definitely said that he spoke to the 3 or 4 different tables of the women and individuals who was doing this behavior many times before he lashed out in the manner in which he did.
And we can also see that as well.
So you know, doing the investigation of trying to figure out what happened, why it happened, for me, it comes to a point where when do you have self-respect? There's a time and place for everything. I don't agree in the manner in which he did it in, but I get why he did it. I do feel like if they wanted to act that way, this is my restaurant, you can leave. You can leave. You see what I'm saying? So it was interesting. I don't even understand. I'm still trying to wrap my head around what they was thinking, that they thought this behavior in this restaurant was okay, but
that's why I was gonna get on your take on it.
Okay.
Do you feel it's appropriate to be twerking in a restaurant?
Not at all. And I'm gonna say this too, regardless if it's black owned, Spanish owned, white owned, whatever race is owned, you know, there's plenty of restaurants that play those type of music, especially if you go down south. And you don't have cases of, you know, women twerking and stuff. They just sit down, they bop to the music, enjoy their food. You get what I'm saying? So what they did there was a personal choice. You know, it wasn't a reference towards the music or anything like that.
Okay.
For me, I think that's just a personal choice. They were either go happy drunk, or they was just in the mood to shake some booty. So, you know, that's a personal choice, and that's what it comes down to it. Because, you know, if you have self-respect for an establishment that you're in or for your image itself, you wouldn't be doing that. Period. I mean, I know personally, been around women a lot, you know, in my life, and a lot of them are raised the proper way. You go to a restaurant, even if they play some thug or gangster music or whatever, it's still a restaurant setting. You don't show yourself out. You don't behave in that ratchet type of manner. Not to say that their overall demeanor is, or the way they dress is ratchet, but it's just in that moment, they chose to have a ratchet moment. That's from my perspective.
All right, from my take on things, I don't feel they were wrong. Why do I not feel they were wrong? Because when you listen to the music that they were doing, I mean the music that they were listening to, the Cardi B and stuff like that, for a restaurant, if you ask me, that's not appropriate music for them to have there. If you go to Red Lobsters or TGI Fridays or anything like that, I don't hear that type of music there. And I understand that it's a time and place for everything, but why have that type of music in there? Mm-hmm. You hear what I'm saying?
And it's funny that you mentioned that, because that was another view I had too, because I'm like, what music was playing that these women really thought that behavior was okay, that this man, the owner, had to not speak to them one time, speak to them 2 times, not speak to them 3 times, but 4 different times at 3 to 4 different tables that he was fed up to go off.
And
like
here's
that.
my thing too. It's like, if you spoke to them 3 or 4 times, right? After the first or second time, why not tell the DJ to switch the music?
Not only to tell the DJ, because you know, if you listen to what he's saying, he goes, cut the music, DJ, cut the music.
Yeah.
You're in the middle of going off on these women for their behavior, but your DJ is still playing the same ratchet song.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, yeah, you brought this establishment for your people. Yes, this was a place for your community to have.
Yeah.
But liquor involved, music involved, at some point, you created that environment. You created that environment to allow these women to be comfortable enough to think that was okay to some point.
Yep. So here's my question to you.
You see what I'm saying?
But let me address this. Like there's a club, and I think it's called. It's not really a club. It's a restaurant.
Okay.
I think it's called 41 or something like that.
Okay.
But they play the same type of, you know, booty bouncing music, twerking music, Cardi B and stuff. They're white owned, yet any single black person that goes in there doesn't do that. They sit down, they enjoy their meal, they bump to the music, and they drink. They drink a lot, because I've been there before. So you can't really say it's a preference of the music. That's a personal choice that they made, from my point of view.
It's always a personal choice. You can make a choice at any point in time.
Because you could be drunk
in a manner in which you conduct yourself, restaurant, whatever it is. You either gonna have your friends checking, yo, calm down, don't do that, like chill out, or you had too much to drink, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Or your friend's gonna cheer you behind on.
That's true.
You understand what I'm saying? Because when you watch the other videos, one girl at the table, she kind of slide over and grabs her friend. She like, calm down, like just stay here, we'll rock. Now they're all rocking back and forth to the song, laughing, cracking jokes. But then you see across the way where the 2 stand up in the middle of the floor and get the twerking. Yep. So for me, yes, that was their choice, and they're having a good time. It looked like a ladies' night type things. But this man, I feel like you created this environment. If you spoke to them, did you listen to the music that was playing while they was doing it? Okay, switch it up, because clearly they drinking, they having a good time. You want your money at some point, whether you say you don't give a damn about it. At the end of the day, you still allowed it. What was the consequences? If I speak to my child more than one time, I got a problem. Yeah. These are grown adults who still made the decision to do what they did, and there was no repercussion. Oh, he's just talking. We paid for this. This is what it is, and they continue to do what they did. I'm not speaking to a bunch of grown people more than one time. You lucky if I give you twice. The next time I'm asking you to leave. I'm asking you to leave. If you don't care that much, you feel like you had to speak to these people 3 to 4 times and then lash out, you look inappropriate, unprofessional. Yeah, you mad, you fed up, this your establishment. Cool, I get it, I understand it. I get why you did it.
See?
But in the manner in which you did it, I'm sorry, you created that atmosphere. To the point you had to tell your DJ to cut the music off while you was talking.
That's very true.
He never cuts the song off. He never changes the song. To me, listening to it, he looked like he turned it up.
That's a good point.
As you was telling him to stop.
Now, here's what I gotta say about that or whatever. As far as the way he was addressing them, I gotta ask this. If it was a bunch of men, would he have reacted the same way? Now, I'm also gonna throw this caveat that if it was a bunch of men, I don't believe it would have been men twerking and stuff like that. You get what I'm saying? So that's a whole like two-stepping. Yeah, people will get up and two-step, whatever, but that's still not doing anything sexual while people's eating, so to speak. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, because I saw a lot of comments where people was like, well, if it was a bunch of dudes there, would he have reacted the same way? Would the dudes would have been twerking? Would they have been gyrating? Like, who's to say? So his reaction was basically towards the twerking, which is basically sexual conduct inside of a professional, establishment. Yeah, placement of eating. So do you think he would have reacted the same way if it was a bunch of men?
No.
I honestly think he would have.
I don't think he would have, because I feel like men, once you communicate certain things, that's it. I feel like women push buttons to see how much we can get away with. We do it when we kiss too. There's like, okay, let's just he alright. He just feels some type of way.
That's a good point, because I never even looked at that.
But from a woman perspective, like, I know, like, I've gone out with friends, white, mixed, whatever you want to say, diverse, very diverse, but I have some friends who's like, here, relax, here, cool off, buy him a drink, hug him a little, like, that's their way of trying to get over. I feel like a man, unless their friend is too drunk, will know, like, this is his business, and that isn't appropriate. I don't feel like you would have to talk to a man 1,001 times for him to stop his stuff, or stop what he's doing, you see what I'm saying? But I feel like the approach would have been hella different, regardless. But to read that, what he wrote, when he clearly states, I've approached the 3 to 4 tables multiple times before this, asking them to stop doing this behavior. They continued.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. When they did it once, I gave them a warning. They did it twice. I'm letting them know, if I have to come to your table again, you have to leave. There is no refund. I don't care what you have on this table. You have to go, because this is not a place for that. Yeah. Not only am I saying something to them, but now that I hear certain music and this is what's getting them going, I have to change that. Listen, to play something else. I don't care what you play, but don't play that.
See, that makes me think kind of too, like, the way you just said that, it's like you also got to be accountable, where it's like, okay, if you're not listening, let me do something to change the setup.
And that's what I feel like he never did. Even reading what he said, I don't watch this video multiple angles.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to know, was he just yelling at that girl who was standing on his property, or was it more than one? And he clearly stated it was 3 to 4 tables or something. And I'm just like, you telling me you done talked to 3 to 4 tables, all these women individually twerking at some point, that made you go off in the manner in which you do, and you still never changed the atmosphere, whether it was the music or see how many drinks they had on their table, or any of that. You never decide to change your approach, because as a professional and a businesswoman, knowing I need my money, for him to say 75% of his money is made from women. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
That's what got me.
Yeah.
That got me, because you know, out of 100, 75% of your money is coming from women. And not only do you go off, use cuss words and all, because you so fed up, but then you say you don't care about their money or not. Now, in this world today, you have to be careful about what you say, because you can have a huge impact on many. Now, many people's like, yo, that restaurant is good, y'all should go check it out. They're still promoting it, because they like, he has every right to do what he wants. That's it. He's the owner.
Let me check this out. Number one, I want to clarify on 2 things that you said. The first thing that you said was, and I'm gonna let you say your part in a second, Ray. The first thing that you said was, once you heard the story, you went into looking to find out more information. How many people went and looked to find out more information before they reacted? That's number one. Number two, you're talking about, the way he reacted or whatever, and 75% of his income is women. That's fine that the way he reacted was inappropriate, so to speak, and it was, basically targeted towards the women who are twerking. But let's look at it in this aspect. Let's just say, for instance, hip-hop songs, there's some club songs, there's some hoes in this house, or all these songs degrading women.
Mm-hmm.
Women will sing these songs, and when you be like, why are you singing this song? Because it's degrading women. What's the first response? They're not talking about me.
Mm-hmm.
So for those people who see the video and feel they're not talking about them, they kind of take that in. Now, let's just say for the sake of argument that he didn't say anything. You got people who live and die by Yelp and ratings of establishments. So if they go on establishments and read about this specific restaurant, and it says, hey, ghetto atmosphere, people twerking while dancing, the owner didn't say anything, that's also bad revenue too.
Yeah, absolutely.
You get what I'm saying? So
yeah,
if you say something and there's like, hey, a person who's reading and they read, hey, the establishments had such and such going on, owner stepped up and said something, that's also a positive rating too.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Like I completely understand what you're saying.
He seemed like he want to say something.
And then people are doing it. They're taking out the context of what he said when he said that part where he said, "I don't need your money." What he was referring to was the people that were twerking. He was like, he did say, he was like, if you come to my establishment and you decide to twerk, and this is what you're here for, I don't need your business. Yeah. You can leave.
No, I completely understand that, but once again, he made it very clear the percentages of women. Like you're all saying exactly where I stand at some point when it comes to it. You know where your money's coming from, and you know what atmosphere you're trying to create. You understand what I'm saying? Many women right now could take this and make it so personal it's not even funny. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Just like you have good reviews and bad reviews, you're probably making this known. I'm not saying this man is wrong. Yeah. In the manner in which he did it, it was not.
But you know what I'm saying? But you know what's crazy?
If that's how you feel like you had to handle it because you done spoke to them more one time, come on, as parents, how many times you speak to our child before you're ready to pop them? Yeah. That's where he was at. Yeah. So I don't blame him. And the manner in which he does it, I'm like, yo, that's crazy. But like you, at some point, if you get the wrath, you have to expect to get the wrath from it. You have to expect to get the wrath from it, whether it's from one woman or thousands. You put it out there.
That's true.
He did put that out there. Like I said, it's a restaurant. Nobody wants your behind shaking while they eating. Like, ew. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying?
But you also got to realize that at the end of it, he gave him a choice. He was like, you can stay and eat and be respectable, or you can leave. Yeah. And not one of these women felt offended by anything he said. They didn't get up and leave. They continued to eat.
Because I want to paint this picture too. Like, we all have kids here. So if we take our kids to a daycare, right? We walk in, like, say we're going to pick up our kids. And at the time that we're picking up our kids or whatever, there's an altercation going on with a kid, like a kid acting like crazy, whatever, to other kids or whatever. So that owner stopped to like have a meeting with the parents and is like, look, I don't want y'all ghetto kids here, whatever. If they have no home training, whatever, yada yada, we don't need them here. You as a parent who know that don't apply to you because your kids are good, you're embracing that. You're like, yo, get these spoiled bad kids away from my kids because I don't want my kid associating with that.
I want my child to be corrected.
I want my child to be corrected. So you got to look at that aspect of it too.
And I agree. Yeah. No, I honestly agree. But once again, it's like your choice of words.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. He was not wrong.
Yeah.
But as a professional business, I have to always be conscious of my choice of words to men and women.
That's true.
That's the part where it's like, were you respectful, or was you fed up and just nasty?
Yeah, I could agree with
you. He has every right to say what he said.
He could have left the curses out.
Right. That was my thing. You didn't need to curse because now you raise your voice. You got all of our attention. Now speak your mind and stay professional about it because it keeps you clean on your end. At that point, you just like a madman over your restaurant and a bunch of kids not listening to you.
Because even the analogy that I just used, let's look at it like this. Say if the person was addressing the kids, not
in
the
that manner, and said, you gonna be like, don't talk to my child like that.
Yeah, it's gonna turn.
I don't use that language around my child, so don't you use that language around my child.
Even though it's kids and adults, but still.
Exactly.
In a professional setting.
If I have to respect this man as a business owner and what he's doing in his establishment, I'm going to look at him like, yeah, I get what you're saying, but I could come back and you was effed up for what you said. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, depending how ghetto an individual is, depending what mindset someone is, you open that door for that to come back at you.
And think about this too.
That's why I said he was not wrong.
Yeah.
Just the manner in which he did it was like, yo, that dude.
But when I
read, I'm like, yo, that's crazy.
Think about this. If a person is telling you off in a sophisticated manner, it's gonna hit home harder. Whereas the minute they start throwing curses and getting all, crazy, act like ghetto, so to speak, they getting real ghetto with it. Whatever they're saying goes out the window. It's like, hold up, who you talking
That's
to?
what I said. When it comes to the
Yeah.
respect levels, like, do I respect this man after he just got crazy?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know what he was trying to do, and I get it. And that's the behavior in that, and behind that of what he was trying to, I get. But he went to left field when I heard that. Like, who the hell? It comes back to say, who is you talking to, bro? I got one mama, one daddy. Care what my behavior is.
Think about it. If I'm like, yo, Ray and Tawana, man, what y'all did the other day, yo, I really didn't appreciate it. You're gonna be like, wait, what happened? You're listening.
Yeah.
But if I come at you like, yo, what the F did y'all? You're gonna be like, hold up, wait a minute. First off, who you talking to?
It puts you in a mindset of how the response is gonna be.
Yeah.
That's why I said he's getting a little bit of both at some point because of in the manner in which he did it. And I can agree, like, yo, there is a time and place for everything. That was their choice. Now you see why people give you a label of the ghetto-ness in black women. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So when do you hold yourselves accountable for your actions in this restaurant?
But check this out, though. You got to give credit to the women, though, because none of them lashed out.
Yes. And
you see what I'm saying?
I'm not going to lie, because every video, even these women was intoxicated, having a good time or not. Even the ones who's like, whoa, like you can hear them.
Yeah.
Name one of them came out and got black, I would say.
And they could have.
Got that mean black. Because he curses, yo, who was you talking to? Any one of them could have been like, yo, who got up and got outrageous, and then it would have been a fight, and then it would have been a brawl, and then that would have been all over YouTube too. None of them did that. So kudos to all the women who just sat there and was like, you know what, you're right.
I gotta give them respect.
Because y'all definitely had a point in the aspect of y'all could have.
See, that's a sign of a strong black woman.
Yes, and growth.
That's a sign of growth.
And growth, because you quick to frown upon one's actions and behaviors, but where is the applause of these women not backlashing? Because that little man can't do not but so much with 25 women coming after him.
That's true.
And
so,
I mean, but if you was looking at the recording, they didn't stop eating, so that's why it was like, you know what, it's good food. Like I'm good.
But still, it could have got worse. It could have got worse.
When you really look at the aspect and the content of it all, it could have gotten bad. He worried about people commenting and viewing on stuff. He's trying to explain why he did what he did. The truth of the matter is, if those black women got real angry, the persona now is, oh, you can't invite black women because they always angry. They'll tear up your place, can't have nothing good, this, that, and the third. You understand what I'm saying?
It would have basically left him off the hook with his cursing and stuff
and being disrespectful in some manner.
People would just disregard like they were provoked.
Right.
People always look at the end result, not the stuff that happened in between. It's just like
it's
how,
a cause and effect.
It's just like how people just looked at his reaction, but they didn't look at the stuff leading up to
his reaction, right?
And that's
why I said that. I said, but what song was playing? And then I was like, to know the song that I was like, well, anybody's gonna dance to that. At any point, did they ever change up the music? That's the first thing I asked, because when he writes that little paragraph that he wrote, he said he went over there 3, 2, 4. I'm not talking to no grown drunk woman or man 3 to 4 times. Sweetheart, I'm gonna give you a warning. I'm gonna let you have what you have. I'm gonna give you a check, and you can go.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man. Whenever you're in an environment with something that's going on, you never know how you're gonna react. Put it like this: have you ever been chilling with let's just say a guy or whatever, or a girl or whatever, and you go to their crib or whatever, and they're in the middle of watching something, and they're like, "Don't worry, after I'm done watching this, whatever, I'll put something else on." In the midst of watching what they're watching, you like, hold up, this show is kind of good. Like, you start getting into it, and you don't even realize, you like, yo. So all it starts is the music playing, and you just, okay, all right. Now, if you got liquor inside of you too, who's to say that's gonna play a part with you getting up and just start dancing, whatever. But I guess for me to answer the question on, is it appropriate? Well, not appropriate to dance twerk, because we have covered that, but his the way he handled it, I would have to say I don't agree with it, with the cursing part. Like, just the cursing part I don't agree with. But the way he yelled and stuff like that I could agree with. The fact that he spoke to them numerous of times. The cursing, he could have left out the equation.
And honestly, if he didn't curse, not only would I have so much more respect, I would have seen that was being professional because he got fed up. You do get fed up. But truth be told, you're the owner.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? But if that was your worker, you would have fired them.
That's true.
Or they would have got suspended. So when you want to hold people accountable, you got to hold yourself accountable too. That's all I'm saying.
What is your take on it?
I mean, personally, I don't think it's working. You know, that shouldn't have been the choice.
Yeah.
Like, you shouldn't have did that. But at the same time, you know, I feel as though every human being, like Tawana said earlier, has that breaking point.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And he was at that breaking point where he felt that he had exercised his voice enough to the point where he was like, yo,
I'm gonna address everybody.
he was to the point where he was like, alright, y'all don't wanna respect me in a calm mood. Let me get ghetto real quick so y'all understand.
It was like he went to their level.
Right.
And you know how they always say you gotta level up and stay there? He started out great and he went left.
Let me ask y'all this now, though. Because, and this for like people who like say like, yo, he's wrong. I don't care what anybody say. I don't care the circumstances. I gotta ask this: as a parent, have you ever, not only y'all, but like people who's watching, whatever, ask yourself this: have you ever had your child act up and you repeatedly speak to him about the same thing, and it gets to a breaking point where eventually you say something out of character, whether it's cursing or whatever the case may be? Have you ever got to that point that you said something and later you thought like, oh snap, I shouldn't have said that?
It comes back, like I said earlier with my daughter, like there's only but so many times I'm talking to you.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying? So,
but I do reflect. This is why I always reflect, because like I said, I find myself having to apologize for her because I had a rough day and she's just being a kid.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? It happens to the best of us. We're human. You understand?
Yep.
You get tired.
Yeah. That's why I can't like
that's why
like that.
I wasn't mad at him.
Yeah.
Once I got the history of what transpired, I wasn't mad at him.
Yeah.
I just feel like he should have kept the curse words to himself.
Yeah.
Even though he was frustrated.
Yeah.
Even though he was frustrated. I get it.
Yeah.
You had every right to approach the whole corner because literally that's what it was.
Yeah.
It went a U-shape and all of them in that area
Yeah.
in which he stood on that ankle and spoke to was doing it. I'm not gonna keep going to each table asking y'all to stop this stupid behavior, being ratchet or ghetto or whatever you want to call it. Freaks into that. This is not a strip club. It's not a strip club. It's a restaurant.
Right. So the next question is, I'll ask you first since you're a man. How do you feel about women that do these things like twerking out in public and supermarket twerking? You know, twerking out in the public in general.
I mean, all right, so it depends on the setting. Like, prime example, that restaurant setting, I don't think that's appropriate. I think that's like, you know, that's beyond ratchet. I think you should have self-control, even when you're drunk. Because there's been times where I've went out with people that like to dance and stuff, and they've been piss drunk, and we went to a restaurant and they, you know, behave yourself. Like, I think that's a personal choice. On the other hand, if you're at a club or some place that has a dance floor and you want to twerk, feel free.
And here's another part to that question too. How do you feel about them twerking in public, and how do you feel about a woman like twerking period or whatever, like on top of it? Because for me, the way I see it is women who's twerking out in public and stuff like that. For me, I don't condone it. Like, we got now to a point where it's like the behavior out in public is comfortable. Stuff like that, like. Women used to learn these type of things to do behind closed doors for their significant other. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was to the point, like, I remember when Adina Howard came out with that song, I'll Be a Freak. When that song came out, people was like, oh my God, how is she so open with that song, whatever. That lets you know how putting sex out there wasn't just so open. Now, if you go on IG or whatever, stuff like that, you just go up feeds, all you see is chicks twerking, or the main picture they show is like the butt or something. You get what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know. And women are just so, and I get it, we're in a different time where it's like, yo, sexuality is a thing or whatever, this, that, and the
Where
thing.
you're free to
Where you're free
express
and
it.
open, but it's like, yo, not
And
for nothing, you don't see dudes taking pictures with one testicle hanging out the boxes. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't see that. Yeah, you may have a person shirtless, whatever, but that's no different than a woman wearing a fitted shirt and she got big boobs, whatever. But yo, it's a fit, or she's wearing like a tube top or something with the belly showing. You know, stuff like that. Or if you're at the beach, you know, stuff like that. But it's like now everything you gotta twerk, and it makes me ask, like, is that the only thing you really have to offer?
I was gonna say.
You get what I'm saying?
For me, I have to piggyback off that as being a woman because I'm not about to do all of that.
Yeah.
But when I look at it myself, like even for generations, because even my generation, we did certain dances, but we wasn't doing all that. We just knew not to do all that. Yep. We didn't never. Even if you did it, you never want to get caught doing it. Where now that's all you see and all you do. So it always comes back to and that's how you respect yourself. Is that the attention you want? Because to me, those are attention seekers to some point. Yeah. Granted, it might be a new dance you're trying to show, but overall, you're going to get a certain kind of attention. Yeah. And you're going to get people who either bashes you or say great job. And at the end of the day, that attention it's the person himself. You're comfortable with that attention. That's what you like.
Would you also,
because you can't get mad if he calls you a hoe or he calls you a thot because this is what he see you doing. Because to them that's thot behavior. I'd be like, well, what kind of crap is that? Like, you understand what I'm saying?
But then you gotta also understand, money plays a factor, a huge factor in promoting twerking.
I was gonna say that too.
Because a lot of platforms, especially Instagram, TikTok, a lot of those platforms they pay high money for these females to get a certain amount of views.
It's like for that behavior, but once again, we are now in a society where that it at this point
that's the norm.
Okay,
that's the norm.
It's normal.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But for me, is where's the parents aspect of this? Because I'm not okay with first of all, I'm not okay with my daughter being on TikTok or anybody Instagram. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Granted, they be like, hey, y'all, okay, that's cool, PG, I see that. You understand what I'm saying?
Check this out.
But I've come across some of the stuff, and I'm just like, yo, people really watch this stuff. Like, whoa. Yeah. And like you said, like, they get paid for that. Yeah.
Yo, check this out. I don't want to cut you off, but check this out. You see how we started our platform since September, right? Yeah. And we got like 40-something videos up, right? And we're trying to work up to 1,000 subscribers. Yo, I promise you, I saw this one woman's channel, right? She had like 4 or 5 videos. I know it was well over 1,000 subscribers. We talking like maybe 100K subscribers, 4 or 5 videos. Yo, the last video she dropped was her cooking. Like she had a thing that she was cooking, and the whole time she's cooking, she's in like a thong and like a bra. And every occasionally, like couple of minutes, whatever, she'll twerk, whatever, this, that, and the third. In my mind, I'm like, these people did not come to see you cook. Like, yo, I don't even remember what she was making. Like, yo.
They came for that button.
You feel me? So it's like, yo, of course you got these subscribers and you get what I'm saying?
Right. But then it comes back when I was young and women athletes wasn't that big. It was like just a new thing. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? And I'll never forget how a lot of these athletes and even women in the workplace or anything, it was like if her button was open just a little bit and I was qualified for it, she got the job. Yeah. It was the men was okay to keep covered, but I had to be in a bra. Yeah. Where it had to be okay to show a little skin to get where you are, but what about those who don't want to do none of that and just be professional? Yeah. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So overall, social media, environment, all this plays a part. They let that be known that it's okay. Yeah. Yeah. Cause that's what the world wants to see. Yep. Yep. You see what I'm saying? So at what point we can hold anybody accountable because everybody takes part. Everybody takes part and contribute to what's transpired and what's on the internet, what's okay and what's not.
That's true. That's true.
If I got up on this table and shook my ass right now in the middle of this conversation, I bet
grab my phone and be like, chick, 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 chick. All right, good.
And then they all be like, yo, Tawana's crazy, but okay.
I need a thumbnail picture right
I
now.
know, right?
My social media, they be like, what's her Instagram? She got a private page?
Yep,
you know what I mean?
Yep.
It goes, can they really take her seriously now that we done seen that?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it once again puts you back in a space where the society made this okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's not appropriate.
Yep.
But society made this okay. It's rude as hell, but society made it
Which
okay.
goes back to the basic question. How do men view? The way it's viewed is like, yo, she's fast, she's easy. That's what it comes down
and then
to.
it comes back to why you're not married.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying?
I don't want my wife like that.
Yo,
But you do have some men who don't care. They parade around their women.
yeah, they will. Cause like,
I
check
have a
it.
friend now, and I just be looking at him like, I'm not coming. He's like, wow, come on, you need to relax. No, I'm not coming, cause the way this is your culture thing. This is what you tell me. This is your culture thing. This is what y'all do. That's why I need to put some meat on me. I never forget, having these conversations. But overall, I'm not about to be labeled what they label.
Yeah.
That's just not my cup of tea. And you know what? That should be okay.
Yeah.
And that should be respected.
Yeah.
You gotta ask yourself and look at yourself at some point and say, oh, am I gonna join the party or I'm gonna be my own leader?
Exactly.
Because I'm pretty sure there's many girls who will follow behind me, and I don't have to do that.
Yep. And like that, and it all comes
I don't have to curse you out.
And it all comes down to when men approach you, they're more respectful because they know you have a standard. You get what I'm saying? So, but when a guy see a chick like twerking whatever in the parking lot, she looks good. Say she looks good, but she's twerking in the parking lot. He's thinking, yo, I wonder how quick I could smash whatever. But when you see a woman who's sophisticated walking down the street, handling her business, you like, yo, maybe I could. Of course, with men, sex is always on the mind, but you're not automatically thinking, yo, I know she's easy. I gotta put my work in. You thinking
like, all right, let me work on getting this number and taking the dinner.
Like you look at her. You look at her as a prospect of, I can take her seriously. When you see that behavior, you're like, I just want to smash and keep it moving. Because if she's doing that, what else could she be doing out in public? You get what I'm saying?
What's she doing?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You open those doors for that question. Like, people talking about these OnlyFans pages and, oh, I can't have a life outside of that now. Well, you open that door. Open that door. Once you put yourself on a certain platform, you open the door. You can't get mad for the attention that you're getting because you put it out there. Oh, I seen such and such twerking on the car. That was great. Why are you and your kids twerking on the car?
Yeah.
If mom is doing it and I'm doing it, you can't get mad at me because I'm doing what my mom's doing.
That's true.
When do you hold them all accountable? It starts from the top person all the way down to baby boy, baby girl. I don't care.
Nah.
It's the same thing when you seen those videos when the girls was first twerking, like you said, it was a culture thing.
Yeah.
But people recorded it and made it go viral, only to find out it's baby girl birthday.
Yep.
Everybody thought they was throwing money at her and being inappropriate, but it was her birthday, and this is their culture dance.
Yep. And here's the thing too. What I noticed too is like people take things of other people's culture, and I'm gonna say like America, like us, America, we'll take things from other people's culture and flip it. Like for instance, like dreads. That was basically Rastas. That was their religion.
Well, I'm gonna have to stop you there on that one. That you can't use that reference because you don't gotta be dressed to be Rasta.
No, I know that. But what I'm saying
that's
is
what he
said. They had
started
dreads because it was their religion.
And then most people liked it in the U.S.
Actually, if you want to take that even further back, you got to take it back to Africa because dreads started in Africa. Most people don't know
that's what I'm saying. Like
dreads was taken from Africa.
But what I'm saying is, however you look at it, yes, it was from Africa. But at the end of the day, it was still a religious culture thing.
All right, yeah.
And then people took it and made it a style. And
in the U.S. now it's a style. It's like, oh, I want braids, or I want dreads, or I want that certain look. Yeah. Where we never noticed it until it was on a piece of poster.
Because I remember I was talking to somebody who was an actual Jamaican Rasta who had and he was like, yo, man, I see people rocking, the dreads like it's a style. He's like, you don't know how that offend me because this is my religion. This is my culture. You get what I'm saying? So we're known to take stuff and twist it
to feed our needs.
Yeah, to feed our needs. That's what I'm saying. Like just like Tawana said, you know, they're dancing and you know twerking whatever, and their version of twerking was a little bit different, but it's the same concept. But yeah, it's a party. It's not looked at as a sexual thing.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm
here,
saying?
we make it very sexual. Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Like you push in a cart, stop twerk. Push a cart, stop twerk. You know, stuff like that.
And not only do we make it sexual, but it's drawing attention.
Yep.
You're drawing attention from men, and what it comes down to is, can you really respect a woman you know twerks everywhere? Every video, her everything you see is her body, her behind is everywhere. Are you okay or comfortable with saying your wife doing that? Would you be okay with that behavior? Would you be okay to see your daughters doing it because she's on some squad and that's what they do? It takes a preference to put that in an aspect of, is it okay? No, it's not. It's not okay.
I will say this.
It's inappropriate dance that people has confined and think society has accepted to be okay with, and it's not.
Now, I will say this. Significant other, kid, I would not condone twerking. But those who do it, I'm going to watch.
You can't make it OnlyFans.
Other than those close to me, hey, I'm going to watch. It is what it is.
But people put it out there. Yeah. You can't stop somebody from looking. Like, I'm just saying, like, once you put your face with one thing, it's all over. Like this guy, this owner right now. He's always going to be the owner to black out on a bunch of girls in a restaurant for twerking.
Yeah, that's true.
He will forever be known. Now he has that label. That stigma is always going to stick with him.
But you know what's also something to look at? I guarantee anybody that goes there ain't going to twerk no more.
That's true.
Yes, you absolutely right. Yeah. But you know what also you got to look at? When the next time anybody goes, see what music they're playing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That might, with all this even going on, it gives you a perspective of what you need to be accountable for and clean up, as well as hold people around. Okay, we got to straighten up our stuff. Yep. You see what I'm saying? Like, of course, any other woman that goes in there, I bet you they won't be twerking, but I bet you they won't be playing that kind of music either.
Which brings to the next question. Does the hip-hop culture play a role in things? A role in, you know, the whole twerking in public?
Of course.
Yeah.
They promote it.
The music videos, the songs, all of it, the beats, it says, dance to me. Like, it's just, that's what it is. Which is why I said, why would you play that? If this is a restaurant, why are you playing hip-hop music like it's a club?
Like, as somebody who used to be in the entertainment business, like, you know, I used to model and act and stuff. I've been to, you know, I've been to music auditions with friends who went to audition where they've been like, yo, you got to twerk to be in this video. Like, you literally got to, like, show me your stuff. So it's like that's just a cultural thing now with hip hop. Way back in the day, it was different.
Like you had girls dancing and stuff,
but it wasn't to the point where it was that serious.
You had to show you can keep the beat in a rhythm, not so much of can you shake your behind.
As a matter of fact, it was only certain songs that you had women in the video dance, like Rump Shaker was a video that had, you know, women dancing, whatever. But most videos, you would occasionally see a woman dancing on,
and it wouldn't be for that long. It'd be for like
and the one
be
specifically on her is usually a routine. It's like a short glimpse, and then there's a routine behind it. It's not strictly on shaking their behinds or boobs and all in your face type deal. You see what I'm saying? So
you used to catch that at BT at night or whatever. After those dark. Type of videos.
And after dark, your baby should be in bed.
And that actually didn't start. You're right about that. That actually didn't start till, you know, the mid 2000s, whatever, like 2000 era. That's when they started doing the BET After Dark and, you know, stuff like that. But
because at some point somebody said, yo, I don't want my kids seeing this.
Yeah.
Somebody said this is too inappropriate. No 13-year-old, 12-year-old should be watching this.
Yeah.
That's promoting sex upon the kids. Now you got kids having kids or trying to try what they see in the video. So somebody somewhere said this was inappropriate, and at this point in this world and day and age today, somebody said let it go, let it rock. Everybody else doing it, it'll change up.
Yep. And hip hop culture play a role like with anything. I remember the video when Jay-Z had a yo-yo. And then the next week in school, everybody had
a yo-yo.
And then
everybody was trying to do tricks with yo-yos.
Remember the
when
video?
The light up came?
Yeah.
You had a light up yo-yo. You was
You was fire.
Do you remember Old Dirty Bastard's video on Brooklyn Zoo when he had the glasses, one of the lenses out?
Yeah.
People was doing that too.
Yeah.
So it's like the culture that you see in hip hop. And I'm not gonna front. When I was younger and I saw the hip hop videos and stuff, some of the things I wanted to mimic too, whatever. But when it was just far fetched, I'm like, whoa. I knew my limits.
You can tell when it has an impact because you remember when baggy jeans was in? Like, not hanging off your butt, but just being baggy jeans. Now, you got these tight jeans and boys' pants is tighter than mine.
First of all.
And if you look at these videos, they're rocking them. That's in. You see what I'm saying? That's in.
I'm going to have to address that. I have a problem with that. First of all, don't buy no jeans that you can't fit. Like, that's and then you gotta wear it below your leg area, like right there. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like, come on.
And they're permanent high waters at that too.
Yeah, like you be it was the other day. It was this kid and he was walking down my block and his jeans was tight. Like you could tell it's tight. He got some tight jeans. And I'm like, bro, you know your kneecaps are still suffocating. Like
But once again when you say it, you know, does hip hop culture it has a major impact?
Yeah, it does.
It's even more crazy because depending who you're watching, you can see that they're trying to bring the 20 swag back with the big shirts, the jersey, or the high top colors, or the off the shoulder sweaters. Dude, I was wearing that in school. Y'all told me it wasn't cute. Now y'all want to wear it. You know what I mean? So it's very interesting. But it comes again. Are you going to be a follower or are you going to be a leader? Because no offense, once you do something on social media, whether it's a new style, what you're comfortable with, whether it goes viral or not, somebody's gonna be like, "Oh, I like that, and I'm gonna do it."
Yeah. And this is the thing.
It's just becoming rival and making it a new trend.
This is the thing I need everybody to understand. Like these rappers and stuff, they literally be on these talk shows and they be like, "Yo, whatever I do in the music video, that's just for my money."
Yeah.
Like if you see these rappers when they dress outside of doing these videos,
there's nowhere near what you see.
Nowhere near what you're saying.
Because I've run into people and I'm like, oh, I like that, but you ain't wear that. Your pants is way tighter than that.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, you can breathe now, can't you? I have to strip out of them. But they have a wardrobe. They have things they have to buy by in their contract.
It's an image that they gotta have, whatever. Yeah,
right.
Because they got deals with different clothing lines, stuff like that. So that's something they have to do.
You know, so it really comes down to that aspect, but overall it's sad to me. But it also shows you the generation after generation after generation, what changes, what don't changes, what's allowed, what's not allowed, and how much damage it can really do. It brings back those labels and statistics of are you going to join in or are you going to step out? You see that commercial where they talking about the TV, everybody going one way about this phone, but then you branch off on the phone because you have a different identity or you want to go somewhere else. That's exactly what this is in society overall.
I remember when the Curve TV commercial came out with what's his name? I think it was 2 Chainz when he did the Curve TV commercial. Everybody was going crazy for this Curve TV, man. Everybody.
Now you can get some junks for nothing.
Exactly. You got people mad because today you could pick up a Curve TV for less than $1,000. And they paid like almost $3 grand.
Even big like 4K TVs now. $300-$400 like
you get it 65 and 70 inch for $2 something.
If you look for the right deal or whatever. But this is gonna come to our last question of the day. How do white counterparts perceive black women based on that viral video and society today as far as women twerking out in public and stuff like that? Like how do you think our white counterpart perceive that as far as like
it would depend on the individual. Like I have white friends. Some want to learn to dance. I'm not even gonna lie. Some of them just like, how do you shake your butt like that? Girl, you need rhythm first. And then you have some who just like it makes them shy. Like they're already like, I don't know, like nah. You know what I mean?
Then you got the ones that are jealous and like, damn.
Right. They're like, yo, only if I can move my butt like that, I can keep a man. Like. You have different things, so for me, like I said, my interaction with my friends, like I have a little bit of each. Like some want to learn, some dumb, some's like that's embarrassing, like I can't do that. You know what I mean? So, but some just be like, I can't move like that. It just don't work. I be like, you going right, they going left. You know what I mean? So it's like don't work, or they always say like, yo, that's dope that y'all can do that. Like some of them think that's like the coolest thing, that you can even move your body like that. Like they're shocked that your body can move that way. You know what I mean?
But I mean, for me, it's just the general consciousness or consensus that, you know, it's gonna reflect on black women overall. Because now they're thinking like, we was right to say that they're ratchet. You know what I'm saying?
It's another label.
It's like, I remember at one point on Google, if you typed in black women or whatever, it would show like pictures of them naked, showing their like basically pornographic videos. I mean, photos. But when you type in, you know, white women or whatever, it shows them dressed up in a two-piece.
You see all the nice actresses and the nice dresses and stuff like that.
With that being said or whatever, like, I gotta look at it on, like, at the bigger picture. Black culture is the most mimic culture, hands down.
Yes.
You know, so anything you see now, whether it's commercials, all of that stuff, it's to entice blacks. Everything is hip hop related now, and commercials and everything like that, because we're the biggest consumers. So with that being said, you have also the stigmatism of black people are blaming whites for like why they're not advancing and stuff like that. So for me personally, if you ask me, I don't really care how white people perceive it, because at the end of the day, we shouldn't be worried about what they think. What you should be worried about is setting yourself up financially in your future, regardless of whatever stumbling blocks that you have before you, that these laws and, you know, everything like put in front of you to hold the black person, hold blacks back. You know, so for me, so it's like, I really don't care what they think, so to speak, because they're gonna think what they want to think anyway. You know, so at the end of the day, focus about what you need to do to better yourself, so to speak, and you know, this way you're not.
Okay with. Have some standards.
You can't
have some standards, ladies. Like, just have some standards at the end of the day, because when they say black, they generalize it. It's not just that woman and that man. It's black people. It's us as a whole. So one black person can give us a label overall, and it has nothing to do with it all to do with your skin color at the end of the day.
It's just like the whole, I watched the OJ Made in America documentary, whatever. You saw he had all like his people around, a lot of white folks around him, because OJ basically wanted to ingratiate himself with, you know, white folks or whatever. The minute that murder case and everything happened, whatever, it was just, I don't know him. He was just a person, you know, I was hanging out with here and there. He seemed like a fun guy. I never chilled at his house, whatever. And you literally had video of, you know, these people chilling at his house. So it's like, which goes back to what you say. They're gonna find, like, at the end of the day, it's gonna come down to, I knew it. I knew it was too good to be true, whatever. See, that's how, you know.
That's how they are. That's how they act. You know? That's why I don't socialize with them. That's why I don't want to be around them. Now we're not saying all. We're saying the ones who already have their mind made up about black people, they're gonna find anything to try and like fit the narrative. At the end of the day, you're picking and choosing what you want to fit your narrative. If you're gonna see like black suit, like it's kind of like with the Black Lives Matter, when you see all these black crowds that aren't violent, but then you see one scene in one particular town that violence did happen, and 9 times out of 10 it's not even the protesters that are doing the violence, whatever. They take that and run with it to fit their narrative. See, and then it's sad, and it'll be on the news. But then when you look closer, it'd be a white person or somebody else doing it. It's like, what in the world?
They're gonna have their mind made up no matter what.
Listen, everyone has their right to have opinions. Everyone has the right to feel whatever they feel. Everyone has the right to have their own opinions and perspective. And they're human, you know, we're all human. But I agree when it comes down to you gonna have your opinion. Either you're gonna make something or give them something different. Either you become the statistic or you don't. Period. It's just that simple. Either you give them something to talk about positive or you don't. This is really what it comes down to. But at the end of the day, you have a choice. You have a choice. We all have choices. So choose what's best for you, what fits for you, and just keep it going.
Exactly. Because you know, it's your choice to be on them streets to sell drugs and stuff in the wintertime. You know what I mean? You could have went and got you a job at McDonald's, work some shifts, get you a nice apartment, but you chose to be outside with a little bubble coat freezing, trying to sell some 10 bag weed, 10 out bag weed. You know what I mean? That's your choice.
Yeah, everyone has a choice at the end of the day, and everyone at some point, once light is shed on certain things, need to be held accountable. And identify what's wrong, what's right. If they're wrong, if they're right, they're right. Yeah. You have your opinion. If you don't see nothing wrong with it, okay, that's how you feel. That's what you see. If I see something wrong, that's what. Agree to disagree, to still move on. You're either gonna grow from it, you learn from it, or keep it pushing.
But
you know?
With my conclusion, I'll say yes. Make your decision on what's good for you, whatever. Hey, if you feel like twerking out in public, whatever, cool. I'm not gonna knock it, but at the same time,
can't get mad at
it. When you running into people who are looking at you at a specific way and treat you a specific way based on how they met you, you can't be mad at that too. You got to take the good with the bad.
Yes. Yeah.
And I understand we live in a viral world where it's like, yo, you're going viral, so you're doing this to go viral, yada yada. But you have to take what comes along with it.
Absolutely, I definitely agree with you. I think some people do things and they expect just always the good. They don't expect that bad to ever catch up, and when it do, it's like, oh, you're wrong. Yeah. No, did you not think that was a possibility to happen? Yeah. Did you not consider that's a possibility to happen? Because if not, that means you didn't think the outcome what it could be. Every action has a reaction. Yeah. And you have to look at the good reaction and the bad reaction, but there will be a reaction. You just pray for the best reaction possible. You understand what I'm saying? So that, I feel like a lot of people don't look at that. They just think they're gonna do something and it's gonna be that, and that's it. No, unless it hit a brick wall. No, you know what I mean.
Now, before we close this segment, I just wanted to touch on this one topic or whatever, because I know we discussed we wasn't gonna get on it or whatever, but the last video we did, we got a lot of mixed, results about it, as far as like how they feel certain things weren't addressed and how a lot of stuff was generalized. But in my opinion, at the end of the day, we live based on a generalized society. Everything you do is based on generalization. Why? If it comes to a certain diet plan or weight, you gotta be 5'5" at this weight, you gotta have this diet. They generalize it. Everything is generalized. So for people to say, oh, you can't speak for all women or whatever, nobody was saying we're speaking for all women. We're just giving general, situations on different circumstances and how people can go about addressing them, look within oneself, and maybe reflect like, hey, maybe I've been doing this thing, wrong, or looking at this thing this way. Maybe I should try this way. That's what it comes down to. So
just to open your eyes.
Exactly.
It's not to target anybody. It's generalization of, reflecting on yourself. If you can watch our videos, or these videos these guys put up, and reflect on yourself to make a better you, why not?
But you know what I'm gonna say? If you have an opinion, you feel very strongly about it, and you want to voice it, come to the show.
Exactly. We embrace it. We embrace it.
Listen. We never gonna turn you down. Yeah. We never gonna bash you. None of that. We gonna welcome you. You gonna get a chair right here. You want some coffee? Here you go.
And I basically want to say one thing that Tawana said before we started recording, which was, are you listening to apply? Like, are you listening in a sense that this applies to me specifically, or are you listening as in
for the information?
The information and the totality. Overall. I can't get the word out. I can't speak today for some reason. But overall, are you like just gathering information where it's like, hey, maybe this don't apply to me, but maybe certain aspects in my life, I could look at it this way. I could look at it that way. People tend to listen nowadays, like in a sense of this has to apply to me and not just the educational purpose of it. Because it might not apply to you, but guess what? You might have a homegirl going through some things, and the stuff you listen to might help her out. So it's not gonna fit everybody. But it will help some.
Right. It may fit one.
Yeah.
It may fit thousands. It may
Yeah.
fit none. You know, we don't know. We don't know no one's situation. We don't know each and everybody who's viewing this. But overall, to give you a different perspective.
Yes.
There's situations that we go through in relationships that we never pay attention to, think about, take heed to, or even come across our minds. And that's truly what the point of the video was. We touched base on a lot of different things overall.
Yeah.
And it does hit home at some point. It does make you reflect on certain situations.
Yep.
Like I said, I have friends who took a look at it and was like, yo, I never thought about it like that. I had one friend, she's married for 17 years. She wouldn't apologize to her husband. She wouldn't apologize, and he didn't even understand why. But she watched this video. She realized a couple of things, and even over the time, they've been together for some time, but they've been having their own issues, and never thought what he was trying to explain at some point was possible. Yeah. So she never really took heed or listened to it, and now she did. Yeah. All because of a video that we just sat discussing different things from different perspectives and angles.
And one thing, please don't take it as somebody's angry or yelling. People speak with passion. I'm a person that speaks with passion, so it could come off as I'm yelling or shouting, but that's just how it is, you know. Yeah. And another thing too, another thing that was also said was Tawana did a lot of the talking. We purposely wanted it to be Tawana doing most of the talking, because at the end of the day, me and Ray are not women. Yeah. We don't know how women think. Mm-hmm. We can go on assumptions, but even if we go on assumptions, it's like, I don't agree with you guys because you're not women. You're not a woman. So
we let it rock.
We let her do most of the talking, because at the end of the day, she's educating us too. You know? Yeah, absolutely. I'm not a woman. And there's different forms of strong black women. So don't think it's just, this is the one form that we're talking. It's many different forms of strong black women. Everybody have their own.
But we do talk about that. Yeah. Once you put strong, you put black, strong, and women all in the same sentence, you're going to get different
results all the time.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And that's really the point of it. But there are some women who need to open up their pretty brown eyes, blue eyes, hazel eyes, whatever color eyes you have, and take a step back and ask yourself, are you a strong black woman, or are there things you need to work on? Yeah. Are you going about things the right way or inappropriate? Because once you're labeled, we all have that label as black women. Yep. You know what I mean? So it's still something to take a heed to. Yeah.
Strong black woman could be a woman that made it to the top of her career. A strong black woman could be a woman who's raising a child by themselves. A strong black woman could be, a person who's working 3 or 4 jobs just to make ends meet, and got 5 kids, that she got to take care of all on her own. There's many different forms of strong black women. You got strong black women who are athletes, breaking world records and stuff like that. There's many different forms of strong black women. So don't have tunnel vision on just one thing. Look at it in a totality.
Take a step back out of oneself.
Yeah.
So don't say, oh, they're talking about me, or this works for me, this don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Take a step back and leave yourself out of it for once, and then listen to what to this video and watch this video, and then you'll be able to probably relate on more aspects than you were before, because you don't have that tunnel vision anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. And on that note, that's gonna wrap it up for our episode. So we'll catch you guys on the next one. And those who is first time seeing, hey, we appreciate you viewing this video. If you like, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share it. I hope you guys learned something. Yeah. There you go. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
Later, guys.
Time for me to hold it down. Time for me to break it down. Y'all cats don't wanna see me. Y'all better mind your P's and